Have you ever been so overwhelmed that you can't think clearly? So stressed out that every decision you make is wrong? Do you bluff your way to victory? Or do you bluff your way to failure? Do you take the path of least resistance? Or are you constantly seeking cover? All these questions are answered in wargaming. They allow us to learn who we are as a person and how we would react in stressful situations. They also tell us a lot about how we would react when we have overwhelming firepower. Do we show mercy? Or do we just destroy the enemy? When our back's against the ropes, do we retreat? Or do we launch an assault and just start throwing haymakers? All these questions can be answered. It allows us to tabletop this, play with different opponents, and see how we would react to their responses and their moves. That's wargaming. That's why it's used in both military strategy, tactics, and doctrine, why they train with board games, and why they train in general. When met with an overwhelming firepower, do you retreat? How do you counter that retreat? What moves do you make? Do you tuck and roll? Or do you put your troops in cover? Do you launch a counteroffensive? What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, where you're both just throwing haymakers and just hoping for the best? It allows us to face opponents who make different decisions. That's why we play these games, and that's why you're here, to learn both, to see it in action, and to learn how you would react. So before we get started, if you like military strategy, tactics, and doctrine, this is definitely the channel for you. This game is Valor Victory. It's a digitized version of a board game that allows us to move tiles around in small squads and eliminate Germans on the western and eastern front. They just released a massive Stalingrad DLC, and the game is currently $13.99 on Slytherin's website on sale. Personally, I truly enjoy it, and we're going to make a small tutorial on it, and it's going to be super fun. So, we're going to talk dice rolls, because even in war, there's RNG. Whether you throw that grenade and it bounces off a tree and comes back at you, or that indirect fire has chosen to send you to Valhalla. We're going to go over that right now. So let's get started. So far, we're going to attack this infantry position. This is just a small engagement. These Germans are trying to eliminate us. We need to hold this defensive line and make it to our next battle. As you can see, this German position over here is in cover. They have a +3 modifier, and they also have a -1 modifier. And we're going to go over exactly what those mean. So this unit right here is going to attack this German squad. We're going to left click him. The dice have been rolled, a 5 and a 1, 6. Let's take a look. At the top, attack anti-personnel firepower, 2. Over here on the left-hand side, attack anti-personnel firepower, 1 through 4. These are the dice rolls we would need to inflict casualties or pin this unit. Right here. This +3 modifier adds 3. So effectively, while we did roll a 6, we have a +3 modifier on it, so that turns our dice roll into a 9. So, we need to be in this area. We need at least a 6 to roll 1 casualty, to get at least a casualty on the board or pin them. But if we wanted to inflict casualties with this 9, we would need at least a 19 through 28 anti-personnel firepower. Correct? So from the top, we're going to do it one more time. This unit right here is going to engage this squad. This squad has a +3 modifier. That means each of our rolls are going to have +3 added to them. So if we roll a 1, it will be a 6, or a 4. Wow. If we roll a 4, it will be a 7. If we roll a 7, it will be a 10. If we roll a 5, it will be an 8. So let's click this unit. We rolled a 5, which is an 8. So from the top, we have attacker's anti-personnel firepower is a 2. Over here, attackers, anti-personnel firepower, 1 through 4. Dice modifiers, +3. Our dice total, 5. With our modifier, we have rolled an 8. 1 through 4 is what we would need our firepower is. We would need at least a 6. So the lowest we could have rolled is a 3 to engage this enemy with our dice. But since we rolled a 5, that puts us at 8. That puts us out of casualty range or pinning the enemy. Alright, I hope that makes sense. This is just a brief introduction to Valor and Victory. If you like this kind of content, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe because this is definitely the channel for you.